Does your money work for you, or are you working for money? Here's how to make your money work for you and reel in those profits. Stay tuned. Good day, Toronto. Welcome to another episode of Prime Properties TV. So glad you could join me here today. Every week on Prime Properties TV, we take a closer look at the Toronto real estate market and topics and updates that matter the most to you. And in this episode, I'm going to be explaining how you can turn your savings into huge profits for real estate. Now, growing up with Asian parents, I was taught to save money and save as much of my earnings as possible. Simply put, just save it for a rainy day. That's very similar to a lot of what I see, like the resources online right now, telling you to save money, which is all very smart to save your money, and it makes sense. But a lot of these gurus out there aren't really even talking about what you should be doing with your saved money, okay? Because when I realized what was happening with my saved money, it blew my mind. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't have any fuss over like financial advisors or bloggers telling you to save money. It's just concerning that there's so much people out there talking about saving money, but not actually making sure the money that you're saving is working for you and how you can turn those savings into substantial profits, okay? So great, so what is that money that you save doing? Is it creating you the most money possible? Right? No one is talking about where and how to invest the money you saved. And the most confusing part is that you save a lot of your money, but it's all still stuck in your savings account, like I was telling you earlier. So that's why I actually had the savings account for the longest time, thinking it was the smart thing to do. This was well before I truly understand the concepts of like inflation and actually investing my money. And then eventually I also got an RRSP, but it took me a while to figure out that RRSP is just a vehicle for investing. And the money in it is actually still in a savings account unless you do something with it, okay? So that's why it blew my mind. And it wasn't until I had that aha moment I was like, oh, I need to invest my money because inflation will make the money that I work so hard for less valuable over time. So that's how I ultimately got into real estate investing. However, it took a lot of self-education to arrive there. And during that self-education process, I discovered a lot of other ways to invest as well. So fast forward today, and being an experienced real estate professional, I want to show you exactly in this episode how to turn your savings into huge profits of real estate, comparing that to other common investment vehicles that I have seen myself, okay? So make sure you smash that like button and subscribe to the Prime Properties channel. It's button right here, so you don't miss a beat in the Toronto real estate market. So let's jump right into what I know now, okay? The two most common investment strategies that I see other than real estate is mutual funds and stocks. Mutual funds were the first thing I learned as it was constantly being pushed to me by my financial advisors at the bank when I first wanted to invest my savings. I literally realized that it was a terrible investment vehicle and the management fees were so high. Next, I took a look at the stock market and I tried to learn how to find the best stocks, okay? However, I didn't want to deal with the volatility and the large swings of it, and I did some paper trading and eventually lost money. So I eventually landed on Warren Buffett's idea of just investing in the S&P 500 index for long term, which have shown to be performing much better than mutual funds. So that was an improvement. However, I wasn't really quite like satisfied with the okay returns because I knew people were doing better. So I continued learning more what I could do. So eventually I got into real estate because I knew that it was a better way to the equities market to create more wealth. This is because I read the book Rich Dad Poor Dad and looked into real estate investing. Let me give you a quick analysis of what I discovered from like an apples to apples comparison, okay? In this example, I'm gonna put on the screen over here. Let's say we have three people, person A, B, and C. Yeah, I wasn't really creative when I put this chart together, so no names for today, okay? So person A invests in Toronto real estate, and Toronto real estate has been appreciating at 7.92% on average over the last 5 years. But let's not use those numbers because the market has been super hot until the last few months, in the last 5 years, but let's use the average appreciation rate in the last 40 years, okay? So that we can incorporate market crashes and up and down swings. And even averaging out the highs and the lows, the Toronto real estate market is still averaging 6% appreciation rate, okay? But to show you the power of real estate and why it can turn your savings into huge profits, okay? Let's use half of that. So let's use 3% appreciation for analysis. Now, person B invests in mutual funds. Realistically, mutual funds yield about like 5 to 8% per year, but the S&P 500 in the last 5 years has done a lot better, averaging around 10% or so, a little bit over that. So let's just use that numbers despite the crazy swings that S&P 500 has. And finally, we have person C who invests in nothing at all, and their savings in the RSP or whatever it is, high interest savings, is earning nothing, sitting idle. So in 5 years, they have little to no passive income at all, if not less money, okay? So let me reveal to you the numbers side by side right now on the chart to show you what exactly 5 years has done for these people, A, B, and C. So person A, who invested in real estate, has earned a total profit of about $360,000, while person B, who invested in the S&P 500, got about $178,000. In our example, real estate was assumed to have a modest 3% growth, while the S&P 500 was assumed to be over 10%, okay? Despite the real estate growth being only 1/3, okay, a third of the 10% of the equity growth that we saw in the S&P 500, the profits for real estate is more than double than S&P 500, okay? Let me repeat that. Real estate doubled S&P 500 at 3%, even though S&P 500 was at 10%. Imagine what would happen if I used 6% appreciation. That's quadrupling the profits of S&P 500. See, the reason for this crazy phenomenon is because real estate is a leveraged investment. That's basically just a fancy term for saying using other people's money to buy investment. Traditionally with stocks, you're buying at a ratio of 1-to-1. What this basically means is that if you have $100,000 to invest, you can buy $100,000 of equities. However, when you buy real estate, that same $100,000, you can get a $500,000 property because the bank gives you money in the form of a mortgage for the rest of that amount being $400,000 to buy the $500,000 property. Banks are loving real estate because they think it's safe, and that's why they're willing to lend you 4-to-1 ratio, and with the lowest interest rate possible being a mortgage rate. We've seen mortgage rates right now lower than 2%, okay? It's like free money. And here's the crazy thing. When the property appreciates, guess who gets to keep 100% of the profits? You. Crazy, right? This is why real estate is so powerful, especially if you're trying to create some generational wealth and to have money for retiring or to pass on to your kids, or even take more vacation. You do you. You want to know something crazier? If you buy the right property, the right investment property with our team, the tenant will fully cover your mortgage payments too. So you're basically leveraging both the tenant money and the bank's money and you get to keep 100% of the profits. Psst, mind blown, right? This is the power of real estate and how you can turn your savings, that $100,000, into huge, huge profits. Let me know in the comment section below if this makes sense to you, okay? Did you know this type of return was possible with real estate? Like, I personally helped many investors and myself achieve similar levels of success. So if this makes sense to you and your eyes are kind of lighting up because you realize how powerful real estate investing can be, then let's talk. I'll put my screen on the description below so we can talk about financial goals and aspirations for your early retirement, or whatever it is you're trying to accomplish with real estate, because it is possible. My contacts are right here, okay? So let's draft up that real estate investing journey so you can be like person A and get significantly ahead of everyone else. And on top of that, let's finally make the money you work so hard to earn work for you, okay? Oh, and haven't forgotten about person C, an example. After 5 years, if person C did nothing, 0%, maybe they just left it in the savings account, they would have earned next to nothing, because right now, if you look at the screen, the savings are earning you a 0.1% year per year in profits, which is basically nothing, okay? So you compare that to person A's return on investment, it's not even close, not even close. Ultimately, it's up to you whether you want to harness the power of real estate and turn your hard-earned savings into huge profits. Whether you want to be person A, B, or C, the choice is yours, and you hold your key to your own financial future. So if you are interested in talking to me about real estate investing, contacts are right here on the screen. Until next time, your move, your future. Now that you're done watching this one, how about this one? Oh, you know what? This one's good too. Ooh, this one's really good. You know what? Just watch them both.